come to the next part of our journey exploration of natural regions. Okay, and the next part is natural regions based on local conditions. So here very first we come to the monsoon region. Okay, basically our country monsoon region. Fine. Now monsoon region, we receive rain from the southwest monsoon winds. And you all know, no? We have learned it in geography that we get rains from the southwest monsoon winds. Okay, and plus it lies between, you can say, 10 degree and 30 degree north and south. Fine. Plus here you find the deciduous forest plus semi-evergreen forest, and because we find deciduous and semi-evergreen forest, you find a variety of animals and plants in this region. So definitely if you find a variety of plants and animals in this particular region, the main occupation of the people, okay, they'll be mainly involved in primary activities. Okay, that's collecting, gathering the things, all these things, lumbering, all these activities become their main activity. Okay, so they are mainly involved in the primary activity. Fine. Okay, now let's proceed further with the natural regions based on local conditions. So the next one is the Mediterranean region. Okay, this region lies between 30 degree to 40 degree on the parallels in both the hemispheres. Okay, basically on the western coast of the continents. Fine. Here the summers are usually dry and rainfalls, they receive rainfalls in the winters. Okay, and you find coniferous forests in the mountainous regions, whereas you find grasslands in the low-lying areas. Animals are mostly domesticated in these regions. You find all kind of domestic animals in this particular region, and it is said that Roman and Greek civilization flourished in this particular region, Mediterranean region. Okay, so this was the main characteristics of this particular region, that is called the Mediterranean region. It's a part of the natural region based on local conditions. Okay, we'll come to the next part of the natural regions based on local conditions. The next part is the West European region. This region lies between 45 degrees to 65 degree north and south parallels, and it lies in the western parts of the continents. Okay, now in this region the climate is mild, the climate is mild and it rains throughout the year in this particular region. And because it rains throughout the year, you always find evergreen grasslands in this particular region, but the trees shed their leaves in winter. Okay, you find a wide variety of animals in this particular region. Okay, here the people are very enthusiastic, as well as they are industrious. They always look forward to do something new to develop their region. Okay, and plus last but not the least, they are mostly involved, because they are very industrious, okay, and very enthusiastic. They are mostly involved in the secondary and tertiary sectors. Okay, so here we come to the end of this part. Okay, we'll proceed further. Okay, now we'll proceed further with the natural regions. So now we come on one more point, that is natural regions standing out due to the continental location. In your chapter, only two places are mentioned, that is the China type region and St. Lawrence type region. Again I repeat, China type region and St. Lawrence type region, they stay out due to the continent. These are the natural regions which stay out due to their continental location. Okay, now we'll proceed further to the next part of this chapter, that is natural regions and diversity in human occupation. Okay, now occupations differ from region to region, okay, due to their characteristics, I can say. So here if you see the monsoon region, okay, the main occupation here is agriculture and the allied activities related to it. Again I repeat, in the monsoon region the main occupation is agriculture and allied activities related. Then we come to the equatorial region. As I've already explained, equatorial region, we have dense evergreen forests. So definitely due to dense forest, you cannot carry out any other occupation. So the main occupation here, it becomes this gathering of rubber, lac, honey, gum, all these things. Okay, so here again the main occupation in equatorial region becomes gathering. Okay, then we come to the taiga region. Taiga region, they have softwood forest. Okay, softwood forest, the wood which we use for furnitures. Okay? So because of that, what happens is, because of the softwood forest, the main occupation for the taiga region becomes lumbering. Okay, lumbering becomes the main occupation in taiga region due to the presence of the softwood forest. Then when we come to the tundra region, as I've already said, it's covered with snow for the entire period of year. So because of that, what happens, they can also not carry out a variety of occupation there. So the main occupation again in tundra region becomes the only occupation, okay, for them is fishing and hunting. That becomes their livelihood. So fishing and hunting becomes the main occupation in tundra region. Then we go to the grasslands. Okay, grasslands, as I said, they have herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals. It depends which type of grasslands. Two types I have explained to you already, that is prairies and steppes, as well as the Sudan type. So prairies and steppes, animal rearing. Sudan type, they have animal rearing as well as they have hunting also. But nowadays, extensive farming are being carried out in the grassland region. Okay, so you understood till here. Now I want to explain to you one thing. Now, natural resources, okay, natural resources depends on the environment of that particular region, correct? Plus, now whatever is available, whatever natural resources are available, is the duty, is the responsibility of ye human beings to utilize those natural resources in an appropriate manner. Now, utilization of natural resources depends upon the progress of science and technology in that particular region. Okay, and it also depends upon the history and cultural organization of that particular region. Okay, it all depends upon the human being. So if we have to say Mother Earth, we all are like one family. But for all of us to become like one family, to make Mother Earth, okay, one family, we have to think about all the other living beings on Earth. Apart from us, they also utilize the natural resources. So when we implement any actions, so before implementing those, we have to think about all the other living beings who are connected with the ecological science. Okay, ecological balance, not science, it's ecological balance. So environment, they're connected to the environment. So implement such actions which are good for the humans as well as all the other living beings who are connected to the environment. So I hope you have learned something new and I hope you have enjoyed this journey. And with this, I come to the end and take care. Bye bye. Thank you for cooperating with me. Okay, bye.